Welcome back to the Icers Hockey Report. I'm Steve Penstone. Penn State was riding a 4-game winning streak as they wrapped up the month of January with a visit to the University of Delaware. You know, I talked earlier about the fact that the Ohio Bobcats are the number one opponent and rival of the Icers. I think Delaware can be called 1A because these two teams really don't like each other. A long tradition of battles going back many, many years, and a lot of players and coaches playing both sides of the game, if you will. And it was expected to be a big weekend for the Icers, needed to be a big weekend for the Icers. Let's take a look and see how they came away from UD. The weekend at Delaware didn't get off to a good start for Penn State. The Icers outshot 12-1 in the opening period, but they managed to get to the locker room trailing just 1-0. Big Chris Volanino snapping a wrister behind Matthew Madrazo for his 15th of the year for Delaware. In the third period, the Blue Hens sandwiched goals around George Sod's power play marker, and they handed the Icers their 8th loss of the season with a 4-2 win. The Icers bounced back on Saturday before a packed Alumni Day crowd at the Rust Arena. Mike McDonough on the break after a neutral zone giveaway. Nick Casella with the initial save, but Mike Potts the rebound. The Hens protest, but it's ruled a goal. Icers lead it 1-0 after 20 minutes. On to the second period, and Michael Longo scoops up a loose puck. He'll just throw a shot on goal from the goal line, and somehow the puck finds an opening. The Icers lead by a score of 2-0. And with the final seconds of the period ticking off, the Icers get caught running around in front of Madrazo. Ryan McDonald makes him pay as he pops home the equalizer with just 8 seconds left. The Icers regroup during the intermission, and 4 minutes into the third, Mike Bricolo is set up after some strong work by Nick Saravalli. Mike's first of the season holds up as the game winner. The Icers knock off the Blue Hens by a score of 3-2. Welcome back to the Penn State Icers Hockey Report. I'm your host, Steve Penstone, and we have some more highlights and analysis for you. After playing 7 of 8 games on the road in the month of January, the Icers came home during the first weekend of February, taking on conference leader Rhode Island on Alumni Weekend. 2 very important games. The Icers needed to win both of them if they had any hopes of capturing at least a share of the conference championship. Let's see the results of the weekend action.
Loose puck gathered up by Jared McDonald. He's watched by McDonough, and Petrick comes up with it. And he sends Marone away with Daly. Marone in on goal. Shot, scores! Dominic Marone, top shot. Puck chipped to the blue line, and the hops past Pinheiro, and here's a 3-on-1 break for the Icers. Saravalli and shot, scores! Nick Saravalli goes short side on a 3-on-1 break, and the Icers lead it 2-0. Here goes Peter Ducharme. He'll get the center, send it into the Icers zone. Madrazo comes out to play, and it's out in front, and they score. Well, there's Matt Madrazo. I talked about it in the first period. No way he should have been out playing that puck. He had a defender back. Should have let it go. He was out of position, and the Rams make him pay as they get on the board, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. And here goes Sean O'Neill for Rhode Island. Around Duval to the far side. Shot, scores! David Macalino with a wrister that went over the glove. Now Lace at the point once again. He'll tee one up. Saved by Madrazo. Rebound, scores! Ryan Maloney picked up the garbage and beat Mount Madrazo. 3 straight goals by the Rams. Power play marker puts them on top. Now up with it, Bricolo to Dolan. His shot, that goes off a leg in front. Saravalli slow to get up. And scores! Bricolo on the rebound. And the shot for the point by Kerry Bell and Mike Bricolo. Duval up with it to Sod. He'll walk out from behind the net. Sod in the circle. Comes back to Rich O'Brien at the point. His shot hits somebody in front. Turnaround shot by Duval. Scores! Andrew Duval with his first goal as an Icer. And Penn State goes on top. And they score right off of the face-off. And I did not see who got it, but the Rams on the power play get the first goal of the afternoon. They lead it 1-0. And the Rams just doing a great job of preventing the Icers from getting anything as Laux sends it down low. There's a shot tipped by Polo. They score! Mike McDonough cleaning up the garbage. McDonough's first power play goal is 7th of the year. And we've got a tie hockey game. Shot, and Rams come right back and score. And icing waved off. Back to get it. Jeff Lace for the Rams. Up forechecking is Moreau. McDonough with the steal. Centered out in front. They score! Paul Daly on the redirect as that puck pinballed around on the great forechecking effort by Moreau and McDonough. He sends it down low. Sent back to Devine at the point. Cross ice. To Astorita, back to Devine. There's a shot. Madrazo with a save. Rebounds loose. Rams get it and they score. Here's Polidor. Across the blue line into the corner. Gives it to McDonough. Back to the point to Laux. He'll tee one up and that bounces off bodies in front to McDonough. Backdoor move and Polidor scores. Shot right off of the draw. Loose puck. And it's a goal. Now Maloney has his man tied up. That's McDonough, but it's checked out or sent out to center ice. Now Marone in on goal. Marone scores! Oh, what an effort by Dominic Marone! As he ties it up on a superb individual effort. As he was being hauled down, he got Kenny down and out and tucked it in for his 15th of the year. All right, Macalino for the Rams, cuts to the left side. Might be some fresh ice over there as he backhands it in, and Rhode Island with the shootout win.
So the Icers go 1-1 at Delaware, picking up a big and important win on their alumni Saturday, and it marked the second time this season that the two teams split their series, so they even up the series for the season at 2 wins and 2 losses. And once again, it's the role players that step up. Mike Bricola with his first goal of the season. That turned out to be the game winner. Michael Longo had a huge weekend, defensively blocking a lot of shots. Unfortunately, during that weekend, he was injured, and that would have an impact on the following weekend. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll have our final segment. You're watching the Penn State Icers Hockey Report. Well, after being badly outplayed and losing 2 games at Rhode Island in the first semester, the Icers bounced back with a big Friday night win and a tough shootout loss on Saturday. Those 2 games really showcased the depth of the team and the contributions from a lot of the role players and a lot of the young players. Freshman Andrew Duvall getting the game winner with his first goal as a Penn State Icer, and he did it with his father, getting a red-eye flight from Denver and getting to Penn State in time to watch him score that goal on Friday night for the victory. Next time on the Penn State Icers Hockey Report, we're going to take a look at the final series of the season against the Robert Morris Colonials, as well as the Eastern States Collegiate Hockey League Conference Tournament from the Boss Arena at the University of Rhode Island. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank everybody here in the studio for a job well done. I'm Steve Penstone. We'll see you next time on the Penn State Icers Hockey Report.